Let's get to more reaction pouring in about the mission to assassinate al-Baghdadi. Watch.
When it comes to terrorism, the president changed the rules of engagement. You think the caliphate destroyed itself? He made a conscious decision when he went to Iraq to change the game when it came to destroying ISIS.
I am proud of our special forces today, and I'm proud of the president today for making this decision.
And I really give the president a lot of credit for making a bold call. This was not easy to pull off.
He is mission focused. He set a goal. He delivered it for us last night, working with the U.S. military. I could not be more proud of this president and our military. You know, it's a sad day in America when the Democrats can't stand up and thank the president, thank the U.S. military for taking out the leader of ISIS last night.
Joining me now is Heritage Foundation counterterrorism expert Robin Simcox. Robin, the president changed the rules of engagement. Is that why it led to Baghdadi's killing?
Well, I think the reference there is it certainly helped hasten the downfall of the caliphate. After President Trump was sworn into office, he initiated a review, and one of the things that was recommended was that some of the rules of engagement were changed. U.S. Special Forces operated much closely with their Iraqi counterparts. Airstrikes were decentralized and the approval process made quicker. That helped hasten the downfall of the caliphate. That made Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi have to change his plans. Ultimately, it helped track him down and obviously his timely killing over the weekend.
Where do we go going forward? Reports are coming up that a new face of ISIS has already been appointed. Do you think there will be retaliatory ISIS strikes?
Well, you can never rule that out because ISIS has got a very clear interest in striking the US and its allies, but it has that interest every day of the week, right? Like, it's not as if ISIS has been holding back previously and it only now occurs to it that it might look to strike against the US because they've killed its leader. If ISIS can strike against the US, can strike against the UK, France, any of its allies, it will do so regardless of whether Baghdadi's alive or not.
Okay, James Foley's family has thanked the president and the troops. James Foley was killed by ISIS. President Trump gave approval for the operation, which was named in honor of Kayla Mueller, an American woman taken hostage, raped repeatedly by al-Baghdadi, and murdered. Kayla Mueller's mother says her daughter might still be alive if President Obama had been as decisive as President Trump. President Obama called the ISIS fight a, quote, generational struggle. Trump supporters are saying he got Baghdadi in 3 years' time. Do you agree with this assessment?
Well, I think that what is a generational struggle is the fight against Islamism, this ideology that animates al-Qaeda, that animates ISIS, that animates groups like it. That's something that we are going to be dealing with, I think, as a generational fight. It's something that beyond any one administration, any one president to fix. But certainly the battle against ISIS, I think significant progress has been made under President Trump. He has not massively changed strategy from previous administrations, but he has tactically made a shift from the Obama approach. And look, the proof is in the pudding, right? You've seen the caliphate collapse in recent months. You've seen the head of ISIS being killed. You've seen other high-value targets and terrorists being killed. It's an unambiguously good scorecard at the moment. We just need to keep up the pressure on ISIS, make sure they don't regenerate.
Robin, your reaction to the Washington Post initially reporting al-Baghdadi as a, quote, austere religious scholar, the Post calling him a, quote, extremist leader. Al-Baghdadi set people on fire in cages. He executed children. People in the region saying he was much more than an austere religious scholar. Your reaction to that coverage? I
think my reaction was like everybody else's, that this was such an absurd, incredibly naive way to look at this sadistic mass murderer. Obviously, it was a major mistake by the Washington Post. They seem to have rectified the headline relatively quickly, but it is astonishing that anybody could have ever, when you think of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, for their first thought to be austere religious scholar, really? I mean, a major mistake, and thankfully they rectified it.
Okay, here's President Trump explaining why he did not notify Congress about what was going on. Watch.
We decided not to do that because Washington leaks like I've never seen before.
It's informing Democrats about the mission. Here's Democrats firing back.
Disrespect the Speaker of the House, who is in the direct line of succession to the president, and to not inform bipartisan leaders in Congress, to only inform a few Republicans, I think was just one more important norm of cooperation shattered by this president. When fighting ISIS and terrorism,
Okay, Nancy Pelosi is now demanding that the president update her on the Syria strategy and the ISIS terrorist leader's death. Critics of Nancy Pelosi say she marched out of the White House meeting on Syria just 10 days ago.
Well, I think one of the problems here is that President Obama, when he was greenlighting the raid on the Abbottabad compound that led to the capture of Osama bin Laden, he did inform top Republicans in the House and the Senate before that operation was launched. So there was a precedent for it. I just think it's one of those situations where it's concerning that this is how bad relations have got in D.C. and how partisan things have got, where a president doesn't trust a leading Democrat not to leak secrets about an enemy, let's face it, that all America can unite around. All of us here in this country are united in our revulsion against Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. So I just thought the whole episode was kind of a shame, to be honest, and a sign of how bad relations between the parties have got here in Washington.
Robin, great to see you. Come back soon. Love having you on.
Thank you.
Coming up.